In an effort to get further clarity with respect to medical marijuana, I also spoke to Dr. Anthony Pottinger. Pottinger is a highly qualified Jamaican medical doctor who practices right here in Trinidad. And tell me how this became an interest to you. Give me a little background, what you could share.
Well, maybe answer the question that most people lips up front. I don't smoke. I don't smoke anything, including marijuana. Being Jamaican, and everywhere you travel, people associate Jamaica with marijuana. And a lot of the people who we grew up with are heavy marijuana smokers. So some of the mix you hear people have is like everybody who smoke must get mad. And most of the man when we say smoke morning, noon and night, and when they talk about smoke split, we talk about man with big chill up pipe. You know what I mean? Yeah. And this kind of overwhelming risk of schizophrenia particularly, I have not seen it. You know, and then a lot of people from your small telling you about all the benefits of marijuana. It's always with asthma, things like glaucoma, and all them things, you know, that anxiety, it helps people to sleep, improve appetite. But it's anecdotal because this thing is illegal. You can't get it for people to properly study it or to use it therapeutically. So most of the information they get is from user a testimony, and it's not user testimony by and large is not good medical evidence, right? So people, I'm glad what's happening right now that more and more it's coming out that this thing was demonized unfairly. Category 1 substance, meaning, deadly toxic and have no medicinal purpose, and it is far from that. I find it totally ridiculous, ludicrous, that something like cocaine could be a category 2 or a schedule 2, while marijuana is schedule 1. Where, marijuana don't have any acute toxicity. So you can't smoke enough or eat enough or drink enough for you to have a cardiorespiratory failure. Whereas you shoot up cocaine and heroin and all that thing, if you overdose you can die just like that. So marijuana moved from the point of being said 250 years ago in pharmacopoeias all over the world and being used for all kind of maladies as a medicine, to the point where we have, up to a couple 10 years ago, that this thing was this deadly poisonous thing, have no medicinal purpose, and people lives being destroyed, going to jail and locked up and all this kind of thing.
Just then, don't smoke weed. You are an angel. Whoa.
Marijuana is a good analgesic. Analgesia mean, painkiller, right? Yeah. So 250 years ago, it was used plenty for pain and anti-inflammation. But then it started to get it becomes second fiddle to the opiates like morphine, heroin, those kind of things, codeine, because those are water soluble drugs and marijuana is fat soluble. So if something is fat soluble, you can't inject it. If you inject it, it's like an oil form, it can form like a globule in the bloodstream, okay, and form something called an embolus. You can go to your heart and clog it up, or your brain or lungs and things, alright? Whereas the opiates are fat or water soluble, so you can make it in a injectable form and inject it, and they work very quickly. So, for instance, if a surgeon wants to take out a toenail, right, he not give somebody marijuana to eat 2-3 hours before it starts to get some effect. Whereas you want to take out the toenail, you pull up some morphine, you pull up some petidine, you inject it, it works almost immediately. Pull out the toenail, and the person, within a half an hour or hour so can get up and go home, right? That can't happen with marijuana. So it started to lose out as an analgesic there, okay? Because it couldn't be injected. However, it's coming back because the funny kind of nerve type pain them, right, that people have, where those things not very effective with, marijuana is very effective. So all them people who have nerve type pain, where they are the people who will get a lot of benefit from the marijuana. Phantom limb syndrome. So your limb blown off with a grenade. It is not there, but every day you're getting pain in the phantom limb. The normal analgesics now work good for something like that. Marijuana now seems like it changed up the synapses in the brain and how the nerves communicate with each other and that kind of thing. And very good for something like that. So the oils now, I have plenty of research on the oils, but you hear people saying that get the oil, so the oil will be a concentrate of the active ingredients, the THC and the CBD, and you hear all kind of miraculous things with respect to curing cancer, skin cancer, rub it on, and within no time it disappears and so on and so on. A lot of them things is not true, right? Because you see, saying that a man have a big cancer on his face and you rub on the oil and within 2 weeks it disappears. The biological system don't work fast like that. Things can happen overnight, like you hear people saying dramatically it happens. So some amount, people embellishing the thing, and that is not good. We don't want to embellish the thing and make it sound like it is supernatural and that kind of thing. So once you start, that will turn off X amount of people because it's nonsense.
That's not to say that he doesn't believe marijuana could potentially have any sort of cancer-fighting properties. Some research has suggested that cannabis can kill cancer cells, but that's only been proven in studies with mice. However, there are no substantiated findings to date that confirm it does likewise in humans, but nonetheless, the research is promising.
So for instance, we know that marijuana, certain things from it can help in cancer treatment, but it's more like with respect to preventing nausea and vomiting, right, where you get from chemotherapy, right, that is proven. People who can improve people's appetite. So like for instance, people who, not nowadays, because you hardly have people have full-blown AIDS nowadays, but the people who used to have AIDS and things and so on, losing weight, appetite not good. Marijuana has been shown that it's very effective with those people, stimulate their appetite, so they eat and start to gain back weight and that kind of thing.
I had AIDS for 3 years now. I had HIV 20 years, probably 24. Through the use of cannabis, I've reduced the amount of scripts I take. I've not had to use a cane on a regular basis anymore. My neuropathy has improved to the point it's not only tolerable.
Despite the purported benefits of medical ganja, Dr. Pottinger wanted to make it clear that there are also negative effects. Adolescents in particular should stay clear of marijuana because their brains are still in the formative stage, he said. Research has suggested that people prone to schizophrenia may speed up the onset of the mental disease if they are heavy users of marijuana. The effect of ganja on the adolescent brain is a hotly debated topic, with some findings suggesting that it may even directly cause schizophrenia. But other studies suggest the opposite, that it helps treat schizophrenia. Oh, ganja. So until there is confirmation, it is best that from at least a medical standpoint, that adolescents do not use marijuana. Pottinger also wanted to clear up another common misconception.
In fact, there are some studies showing that marijuana is more toxic than cigarette with respect to those long chronic things. So like with, for instance, with respect to lung cancer, it is considered that one marijuana cigarette is equivalent to 20 normal cigarettes with respect to your risk for lung cancer. With respect to emphysema and chronic obstructive airway disease, one marijuana cigarette is equivalent to about 5 normal cigarettes.
But what aspect of what characteristic of marijuana would be causing behind that?
It's not the THC or the CBD or anything, it's just smoking any plant, any bush. So you have the heat, carbon monoxide, different toxicities that come from burning the material, right? And you're inhaling that. And carcinogens will be in it. So we don't want to mix this up now with the psychotropic effect, which is primarily from the THC, and all of the other beneficial effects such as anti-anxiety, analgesic effect, and anti-inflammatory effect.
Now here's some free medical advice for you marijuana users. You're welcome. Before you get any ideas, Doc isn't advising that you consume ganja, but hey, if you do.
When you dry the plant and burn it, you're destroying about 90 to 95% of the active ingredients. So if you can use the plant, which is not dry, right, green, and vaporize it. So you can eat it, you have some pipes, right, vaporizing pipes. So you can eat it to just below the level that it will combust. And all of the oils will vaporize off. It's an aromatic kind of thing. And then people inhale that, right? So you avoid the toxins that come from the burning. It is at lower temperature, so it not damage up your upper airways and all that kind of thing, like with when you're burning it. And you get it absorbed, and the THC and things like can go straight to your brain.
So would you encourage the government to put some resources to search this land?
I mean, this should have happened a long time. All of the Caribbean countries will be behind the 8 ball because plenty work is being done all over the place.
Well, most definitely there needs to be research because we need to have the evidence, and the only way you're going to get the evidence is to do the work to prove that something is actually working. And we are a developing country, and it means that we may not have the resources to carry the work to the full extent to determine whether we can actually have something made like a drug. But we can do basic work just to provide the evidence for further work to be done.
Under the Dangerous Drugs Act, the health minister can grant a special license for the import or use of cannabis for medical and research purposes.
I never trouble no one. I'm a lady, I'm not a man. MC is my ambition. I come feel nice up Jamaican, so bam bam. Say what a bam bam, bam bam dilang, bam bam, bam bam dilang, bam bam. Hey, tell me say one thing Nancy can't understand. One thing Nancy can't understand.